All right, UH Nation, my name is Reid Nelson. This is Izzy Alkafas. This is This Week in Rec, Week 6. A lot to talk about this week. We'll get right to the highlights. Rubio Tuesdays v. Crusaders. Jason Carter comes down 1, hits a three-pointer with 7 seconds left. JB Corte comes back the other direction, puts up a 3. Sonny Graves comes out of nowhere, fouls him. JB Corte sinks all 3, and Rubio Tuesdays wins. What was Sonny doing?
I don't know. Maybe Pinkett and Mike Chill City Franklin got a hold of him before the game and did some extracurriculars. I have no idea. Even watching the replay, you can't. I think he was expecting him to pull up and go forwards instead of kind of falling away to the right, and Sonny was going to contest, and it was it was a foul without a doubt. And Sonny's a veteran. He's a ref. He's played 300 plus UH games. I wouldn't expect it from him, but who knows? You just never know. It's a spur of the moment thing, and mistakes happen.
So Rubio Tuesdays now registered 3 wins, I believe.
Yep.
So they're absolutely in the playoff conversation. Congratulations to them in their first season. I'm assuming they'll be in the postseason. Team America also. So we're going to have some new squads that are going to see the postseason. So I want to talk about the Warriors, another, not a new squad, but new squad by name. Billy Elwell. I have a source that has told me Billy is not injured. He's not hurt. He was sitting on the bench tonight and then left halfway through the game. He didn't play any of the second half last week. There's a little bit of, I don't know if there's unhappiness there with that situation. Do you know anything about Billy's situation?
No, but he did this last season too with the club. He left in the middle of a game. I don't know why he doesn't play. Like, they would have won last week if Billy is in my opinion, their best player. I don't care what anybody says. He's a great defender. He can score anywhere on the court. He's unselfish. and he works hard. I love Billy's game. And I looked at the minutes, and I was wondering why he didn't play. I don't know whether he doesn't kind of put up a fight when he's getting subbed and people just kind of pull him out. But there's no reason why Billy shouldn't be in your starting 5, and there's no reason why Billy should not be playing the most minutes on your team. They would have beat the Avengers if Billy plays more than 22 minutes last week. Doesn't make any sense. And if Billy plays tonight, they probably have a good chance of taking that game down to the wire. I think they're up for a while. They're up at halftime. I can't explain it. I have no idea. Billy, maybe he's obviously sensitive about, playing time and teammates not playing the right way maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but any team of mine can always have Billy on it, and I think across the league anybody would like to have him. If you watch Billy play extensively, he should be playing 30-plus minutes a game for any team.
Yeah, and we'll see how that, we'll see what kind of happens as we move through the rest of the season. So Off constantly wins again tonight. They wanted us to mention their 4-on-5 win from 2 weeks ago. So here it is, Bryant. Congratulations, you guys won 4-on-5.
That's really good job, guys. That's awesome.
So
do we have medals? We can hand out medals or little trophies or something?
We do have a medal for them that we can give out.
T-shirt?
So I want to get to a talker for tonight. Now, somebody brought this idea up to me and a little while back, and I don't believe we've spoken about this on this show. Maybe we have. Maybe you'll remind me that we have, but I don't think we have. So somebody brought this idea up to me. I thought it was stupid at first. But now I actually am coming around to it, and I actually think it's a good idea. Do we ban teams from the postseason if they forfeit during the regular season?
1 game, no. 2 games, yes. Because 1 game, things happen, schedules get mixed up, weather problems. I can see it. Especially a team with 7 guys. 4 missing, that's tough. But any more than 1, there should be like a sanction. I can see that. Look at it this way. I think Greg plays for Big Smash in Bloomington, yeah?
Correct.
100%.
Yes.
Greg, I overheard, and I may be wrong, but I think he was upset because his game got canceled in St. Louis Park because the team didn't want to play the game or they couldn't get enough guys.
There was a miscommunication, and they moved the game time around unbeknownst to him.
Regardless, but then he decides that that's okay to complain to the national coordinator when his team has forfeited 2 games in a row?
Well, I hear a lot of complaints. So
Greg, you practice what you preach, buddy. I mean, you can't complain about games being switched and not having games when you've left 2 teams high and dry back-to-back weeks.
We can chat about this a little afterwards.
Yeah.
The slightly different situations, which we'll talk about.
Okay.
Somebody brought this up to me, and they said, well, if it's within 4 hours, right? So if you have a 7:30 game and you give that team a 3 o'clock notice, you're fine. But if you're telling them 6, 6:15, 6:30, that's not okay. So, when I first heard this idea, I was like, that's ridiculous. No. But then I was like, forfeits are the worst. Okay, nobody wants to look forward to a game all week and then, not be able to play it. Mm-hmm. So I think there's some merit to it. As always, guys, let us know what your thoughts are. Do we ban teams from the postseason for forfeits? 2, I think that's an easy rule. Now, we're not going to put that in place this season. But, yes, if you have 2 or more, that's an easy rule. The only problem is do those teams stop showing up for the rest of the season?
Yeah.
Then we've got even bigger problems on our hand.
Yeah, I just thought about that now as you were explaining it. That's the caveat. I mean, maybe if they forfeit twice, they automatically get the 20 seed. Think of something, or they get like 5 lashings or something. We'll think of something.
Lashings, okay. So yeah, UH Nation, let us know what your thoughts are. Another week is in the books. March 5th, playoffs start. The evening of March 4th, we're going to have our seating committee meeting.
We got it. You want to explain the schedule again?
That's the thing, is that as we get closer, I'm going to hear a lot of, we never knew what the schedule was. So I'm going to note it every single week. March 5th.
Just have it constantly streaming across the bottom of every video all season. And that way we won't have an issue.
All right, everyone. Thank you.
No, we're not done.
We're not done.
I wanted to talk about something. So Tom Vecchio, so it's a 7 o'clock game.
Who's the host of the show? Am I the host or the host?
I'm taking over. This is awful. 7 o'clock game. The Bulls have 4 guys. Squids have 5. Everybody takes the court. Tom Vecchio sits down on the bench. And the guy's like, what are you guys doing? What are you doing, Tom? Tom's like, well, they only have 4 guys. And Tom just assumed that people don't play 5-on-4. They play 4-on-4. Like, he didn't understand the concept. So they're like, no, we'll play 5-on-4. He's like, oh, really? Oh, okay. And it was just kind of funny to me that he probably doesn't pay attention to like the whole 4-on-4, the whole, the whole ordeal. Instinctively, he assumes that it's the nice thing to do.
Nice guy.
Coming from a team that gets blown out by 70 each week, he did the sportsman. That is like a character, a great character play, right?
Well, if Billy Elwell always has a spot on your team, Tom Vecchio has always got a spot on my team.
I root for him. That was I want to buy his jersey.
A Vecchio Squids jersey.
Yeah.
I bet you Brandon could get one of those. Any other parting thoughts before we depart?
Fob, oh my God, Fob looked bad tonight.
I'm not even going to get started on Fob. We're going to talk all things Players Committee next week. I'm also going to grab Jason Briggs to discuss the forfeit discussion. So we'll be right back with Mr. Briggs. Players Committee Chairman Jason Briggs here with me now. We just spoke with Izzy Alkafas about the postseason ban potentially for teams that forfeit. I brought this up to you earlier tonight. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. I think the rule should be minimum. If you have 2 forfeits, you're out for sure. And if the opposing team ever shows up to a game and they find out you forfeit that at that time, so let's take last night, them shows up at 7:30 and Big Smash just doesn't show up, also a postseason ban. Absolutely.
Well,
it's embarrassing.
Well, or is there a 4-hour window, 3-hour window?
I would say about a 4-hour window, because if you have a 6:30 game and you let someone know by 2:30, that's plenty of time to check Facebook, to do something, to get one person on that team to communicate with his teammates.
What about weather?
No. What weather? It was cold. It's been cold.
I'm not talking about last night. I'm talking about just in general.
No.
Because you know me, I don't like to cancel games anymore.
Right. No, absolutely not. No. Carpool. Get a sled, snowmobile. I don't care. This is Minnesota. Unless you're new, unless it's a team full of guys from Texas, we should know how to do this by now.
Well, and if
It's an amateur hour
and
up
if
here.
the roster's minimum of 7,
Right.
you'd actually have to have 3 guys missing
3
to not be able to play.
guys who can't drive in snow.
I'm not saying we do this. I'm saying we bring it up. We bring up the discussion.
Right. Yeah. And if the club's open, you should be able to get here.
Forfeits are the worst.
Absolutely.
Almost.
Dude,
Right.
It's embarrassing.
It's bad.
I had to explain it to about 15 different people last night why one of the courts was open at 7:30, and I had to say, "Oh, guess what? Big Smash forfeited for the 2nd week in a row." That's a black eye in the league. It's a shame that those teams get screwed out of a game on their schedule, and who knows what next week's going to bring. I mean, are they going to show up next week? And this team might sneak into the playoffs, and that's pretty sad for a team that doesn't even bother to show up for 25% of their games.
Any parting thoughts?
I think I've said enough.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.